What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video, and I hope you like that thumbnail that I made for this video. I took like almost all my Vaders, and I kind of surrounded these bootlegs with it just for it's clickbait, people. It's clickbait. I'm not going to go through all those Kenner figures, all those Kenner Darth Vaders, but I do have 3 bootlegs. One of them graded. I just got this in the mail today from Germany. And then these 2 are not graded yet, but they're going out soon as I can make some money. Come on, people, buy some modern G.I. Joes from me. But I've got 3 different bootlegs here, and I just thought we'd do a quick comparison of them so you can take a look at them. This one I've already shown you. This is the non-articulated static Polish bootleg, first generation from the early 80s. As I mentioned in a different video, I did get a cape for this thing. But it's so fragile that I'm afraid to put it on there. I did confirm with a really renowned Polish collector who's writing a book, actually. It's coming out in the next month or 2 about Polish bootlegs. And he did confirm that all of these did come with capes. So I got a bootleg Polish cape to go with this figure, but it's so fragile. I mean, literally, it's like tissue paper, so I'm not going to try to put it on there. I think what I'm going to have them do, I'm going to send it into CAS, since they're the only people that grade bootlegs right now, as far as I know. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them grade the cape next to the figure, and I think that'll look kind of cool. It'll be kind of wide, so it'll be kind of annoying from a shelf space perspective, but I think that's what I'm going to do with it. But I didn't bust out with a cape for this guy because I was afraid I'd break it. But so I wanted to show you this one versus these 2. This one over here is a UKG graded Darth Vader bootleg. Like I said, I just got it. This is a Mexican from the 1990s, early 1990s. And then this one I got from a seller in Australia. This is a 1980s Mexican bootleg Darth Vader. Very similar. I can hardly tell any differences between them, but they are a little bit different. And yeah, we'll be able to compare them, but it's very, very similar, but you can see some slight differences to them, especially in the paint applications that gives this away as a 1990s. But so let's take a look at them. I guess what we'll do, we'll start first with the one I just got today in the mail, literally 5 minutes ago. But this is a UKG graded Mexican bootleg Darth Vader. It just got here, and I bought it from a seller in Germany, along with one other Mexican bootleg that I am not going to share yet until I get it graded, because it is epic and very, very rare. But I don't want to spoil it yet. I'm going to show that. I'm going to show you guys that one when after it gets graded. But this one is awesome. I didn't know that UKG graded bootlegs. I'm assuming that they stopped doing it because it seems like AFA also stopped doing it, but. This is definitely a Mexican Vader, just from the limited knowledge I have on him. Yeah, you can see that the face is very similar to. Let's see if I can get it to focus better. You can see that the face is very similar to the Kenner product, but that's kind of where the similarities end. I guess some of the other aspects of it are, but typically the 1990s. I mean, there's so many different Mexican bootlegs Vaders from the 1990s that are all over the place in terms of figure mold and colors and things like that, but this is a little bit more in keeping with the 1980s Mexican bootlegs. So it's got a very similar Kenner style appearance to it, very similar cape. You can see how shiny that cape is. I mean, it's just crazy how shiny that is. And here's the back of it here. It's got a little, the hood is a lot longer than, the Kenner product, obviously. The saber does not retract or anything like that. You can see a close-up. It's just basically a black kind of static piece there. Some of the Vaders didn't have any saber at all, but this got a painted red hilt and then a black kind of piece there. I mean, there's some rubberized, pure rubber, not plastic, bootlegs from the 80s and 90s that are very floppy, and I've seen ones that are graded and the saber just kind of flops around like that. That's what she said. But you can see the paint. What gives this away as a 1990s bootleg is the paint. They started moving over to brighter colors in the 1990s, and somebody's going to watch this and think I'm an idiot and don't know what I'm talking about. I'm only going on what I found online, people, okay? I'm not an expert on bootlegs, but this is what I found online. I'm just regurgitating information. I'm not making this up or think I'm really smart. So if you disagree with it, it's fine. Just leave comments below. But what gives this away as a 1990s bootleg instead of a 1980s is the color pattern. In the 1990s, the bootleg started going over to like bright silver around the chest, and blues and yellows and reds and silvers around the chest piece and around the utility belt for Vader. Most of the 1980s that I've seen have either zero paint application or very light silver. It's very minimal, and we'll take a look at that one in a second. But it's got a very similar Kenner mold to it. Let's see what UKG had to say about it. Star Wars, Darth Vader, Mexican bootleg, no markings, and they gave this an 80%, so it's near mint. Figure, paint, and cape all got 80%. I don't know how you can give the paint an 80%. It looks like a 4-year-old painted them, but they're saying that that's an 80%, and they gave an 80% overall. The figure itself is in much better condition than one I'll show you in a second. I mean, it's just really good, solid for a bootleg. It's in great condition. But they say no markings in terms of the year, but this is an early 1990s bootleg. Later in the 90s, they moved over to wider figures, a little bit blockier, much different molds. The Vader head is much more triangular and kind of cartoonish in appearance. And then, in the late 1990s, they moved over to the Power of the Force 2 figures, bootleg figures that are very muscular, just like the Kenner slash Hasbro products were. But you can tell that this is a very early 1980s bootleg because it uses a very similar mold to the one from the 80s. But it's kind of cool. I didn't have any graded Mexicans yet. Everything I have is still in grading with CAS. But I thought, this one I got a really good deal on, I feel like, and it shows really well. So very excited to have it. And of course, I have a Vader fetish. I got a little bit of a fetish for Vader. And then this one is the other one I picked up from a seller in Australia. You can see that the cape is much less glossy. So this is a 1980s Mexican Vader. And you can see here, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus a little better, guys. There we go. You can see here that this is a beat-up figure. It's in a lot worse condition, but I paid hardly anything for it for an 80s. And this one is articulated, so it's got movement in the arms, semi-articulated. But overall, it's a very similar figure. It's got the hilt there, same kind of saber, very similar mold to the one I just showed you, but this one is an 80s. And but you can see it's got a lot more wear around the helmet and the chest piece. It looks like there was some silver paint applications at one point, but anyway, we'll see what CAS has to say. But my understanding is that talking to a few bootleg collectors online, this is from the 80s. The one I just showed you is from the 90s. And the main differences being the paint applications. There's a slight difference in the mold of the helmet, but not much. And then the cape is not glossy. So, but everything else looks very similar. So my guess is that was a late 80s, and this one was an early 90s. And then I've already shown you this one, but this is the Polish bootleg from the early 1980s, I believe 1982-ish. And it's a static bootleg. There is also a first generation and a second and third generation Vader with the Biker Scout arms. I've got a couple of those in grading. I got a first and a third in grading right now. But you can see this one is much more similar to the Kenner product. Obviously, they went for the holiday Christmas theme with the color scheme, but it's a much better made product than the Mexican bootlegs. It's cool. I like it. This is going to look really cool when I have that cape next to it, I think, in the grading case. But you can see the saber there. It's a bright red. There are a number of variants. I think I've already told you about this. There's a silver saber variant that I've already gotten grading, and then I got this red one. I think there's also a black one, if memory serves me. But most of the time, you don't find these with the cape still on them, because once they're gone, it's really hard to get the cape back on because these arms don't move. I don't even know if you can get the cape back on. I mean, I kind of tried, but it was just so fragile, I didn't want to try it. So we're not going to do it. We're just going to mount it next to it. But very cool figure. But these are three kind of different bootlegs. Obviously I've got a few. I've got like 6 or 7 others out there in grading right now that won't be back for several months. But I just thought since this graded one came in, we'd take a look at the three of them together. So we got a 1990s Mexican, a 1980s Mexican, and a 1980s Polish static bootleg. That is really all I got, folks. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm sorry I haven't been doing any videos lately, but I've been traveling for family stuff and trying to get back in the swing of things. I got to work occasionally. I've got to pay for these stupid figures, so I got to work sometimes. Anyway, thanks for watching.